I'm Dr. Liesl Windsor, developmental behavioral pediatrician, and this is the It Starts at Home series. So let's talk about nature versus nurture.
From 0 to 5. It starts at home. She say home. She say home.
So when we think about child development, nature versus nurture has to do with what a child is born with versus what we develop in them over time. Nature specifically refers to the genetic makeup a child actually has from even before they're born, within the womb. So it's the set of skills, the potential that they have, all of those things are heavily decided even before a child is born. So that's the nature piece. But then nature also comes into play because we know that environments that are rich in developmental possibilities, that those environments tend to help children reach their maximal potential. So they might be born with a particular natural potential, but then having a developmentally rich environment then helps them maximize that. So that's a little bit hard in terms of finding a number of what percentage is genetic and how much is actually parent or caregiver input. But we know that a significant portion of what a child is going to be capable of is determined by the genetic material passed on by their parents. That being said, have I seen children who have exceeded what we expected them to be capable of? Absolutely. And in those cases, it's the parents, the caregivers, the environment that really springboard this child into a whole other level of ability that their genetics couldn't predict. So the short answer is yes. Even after a child is born, they're born with a certain number of neurons in their brains, right? And we all, as humans, go through this process of pruning. And that pruning really means that, yes, we have a specific number of neurons, but then connections are made and broken depending on the interactions and the experiences that we have. And so no two children are alike because genetically they're not identical. And even for identical twins who are born into different environments or who end up in different environments, we know that the stimulation, the interaction, the input from caregivers can produce dramatically different results in two different children, even with them having similar genetic makeup. Now, I'm not saying that the environment magically will reverse things or completely get rid of challenges. However, when we're thinking about development, we always want to think about maximizing potential, right? So that is a range of ability, and environment absolutely can help a child either have a much better response and much better outcomes or less favorable outcomes, just depending on the level of stimulation.
Feel like I'm going off my mind. My mommy tell me it will take time. I have no money for therapy. It starts at home. She say